The moment is here. Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans.
Pew, pew, pew.
Welcome, everyone, to Super Bowl edition of Sportsfellas.
Oh, yeah.
It's your Buckeye believing, Captain Crystal the K.
It's your ring chasing Sooner Nation, Tomahawk chopping boy Driz.
And this is your host, Carlos. You guys, we're finally here. February 9th, right? February 9th.
February 9th.
February 9th.
Yep.
We have the Super Bowl. We have Chiefs Kingdom.
Yes, sir.
Back-to-back champs going against the Fly Eagles Fly. The NFC champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to go ahead and break down both sides, and we will give you who we think will win the Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
With spring here and all the storms on their way, you need to make sure you have the proper home, auto, and all your properties insured. We here at Razor Cut Information just can't get enough of our favorite insurance man, Ernie Ruelas. Please visit Ernie and his State Farm agency at 11330 East Central Avenue, Suite 400, Wichita, Kansas, 316-682-2300. Thank you so much, Ernie.
All right, we're going to kick it off with the Super Bowl champs, the AFC champions, Chiefs Kingdom, the Kansas City Chiefs. This is their sixth appearance. They've won Super Bowls 4, 54, 57, 58. The road for them to get to the Super Bowl, they defeated the Texans and defeated the Bills in the conference championship. Now we are here. We're going to start off with the offense. So, Dristan, I'm going to kick it off with you. Offensively, tell us a little bit about the keys to victory on the offensive side.
Well, first off, our tackles have got to get it together, which luckily Joe Thuney's been playing tackle, so we haven't had any major problems. But it's more so our offensive line just has to do their job and protect Patrick Mahomes, right? Mm-hmm. They have to do their best to make sure Mahomes doesn't get pressure because the more time in the pocket, the better, of course. But and our receivers just got to lock in. I think we got everybody. I've been seeing all over the internet, and people don't think we got a good receiving core. I think we got a really good receiving core. It's just they haven't done much this season. I think that's less of the receivers and more so Mahomes just like spreading the ball out. So I think we got a good, deep receiving core that will get the job done. They just got to hang on to the ball, make contested catches, and make something happen. And so offensively this season, we have relied heavily on short passes, screen passes to get our yardage. I think it's going to be the same way here.
Sure.
We're not going to have a lot of opportunities for the deep ball, but when we do, you know Mahomes is going to make it happen. He's going to try his best to get that down there. So, firstly, we got to block. I've seen Kelsey have some miscues and not do a good job of blocking. Same with our receivers blocking on screen passes. Just if they can get the job done blocking the offensive line and receivers, we'll be good offensively. The Eagles got a tough defense, but I don't think it's anything too much for us to overcome.
Well, I mean, as long as they keep getting absurd penalties on third down, they'll be fine. Just kidding. I know there's a lot of talk about that. Let's get it. I mean, the refs are just refs. Maybe they make bad calls. Yes, there's some of them questionable. Maybe they need to make some changes to the way things are called, but it's the way they're called in real life. I mean, they're just people, right? So I don't think there's any conspiracy. I think they're just benefiting from. Usually when you're the best, you get the benefit of the doubt. Look at Michael Jordan, look at LeBron James. You see that more individually in basketball where the best players just get the benefit of the doubt because they're the best players. Like they don't foul as much because they're better at like your better team. And of course, refs are going to miss ones here and there, so that's not a big deal. But offensively, I think you're right. It's Andy Reid is a short pass guru, I would say. Like that's what he's done. The majority of his career is short pass game as an offensive coordinator back in Green Bay, and then with the Eagles, he's always been the king of screens, so to speak. Those short routes. I believe that probably Hopkins could maybe get one open downfield, or definitely Worthy. I mean, he's got the speed. It's just not the game plan that Andy Reid runs usually is a big downfield passing game. It's finding those gaps underneath. Which they're really well at, especially Kelsey. He's been really showing up in the playoffs, hitting those gaps. I know he's not quite as good blocking right now, but he's really showing up on the receiving side. So they keep that strong. I think Pacheco and Hunt, Kareem Hunt's really stepped in well and filled the position that he probably should have had for the last 5 years anyway in the backfield for the Chiefs. And he's right back at home. He seems like he's almost never left. So I think as long as they keep doing what they're doing, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Can I piggyback on him real quick? Everybody hating on the Chiefs and saying that it's that the refs are making this rigged. Just go look back at Tom Brady and all those games.
Again,
that Tom Brady
you get
played.
the benefit of the doubt when you're the best.
And listen, I love Tom Brady, but he actually cheated. Deflategate, recording teams' practices and everything. Like, that's actually cheating. You guys are just throwing conspiracies out there. Put some respect on the Chiefs' name. It's just recency bias is all this is.
All right, Thanos. All right, so here's the deal. Overall, offensively, it's just the tails of the tape in a sense. Patrick Mahomes is the ringmaster. And it doesn't matter who you put in, Tyreek or whoever you're going to put in there. Look at the offensive weapons that they have. You got a great running scheme in Kareem Hunt and Pacheco. Offensively, you've got great tight end, not just Travis Kelce, but your other guy as well. So he's up and coming. Then when you look at your wide receiving core, Hopkins, you still got Juju, you got height. Xavier Worthy, you got speed. So it's just a great scheme that's going on. And all Patrick Mahomes needs to do is just do what he does best. This is nothing ordinary to him. They've been there already. This is just, hey, it's just another game. Let's capture history here. Let's go ahead and move on over to the defensive side. So I'm going to start this off with you, Chris.
Yeah.
Tell me, what are the perks about the defense?
Well, I really think that the defense is underrated on this team. I think Spagnuolo is a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator. He's definitely going to go. And then Chris Jones, man, in my opinion, probably the best D lineman right now since Aaron Donald hung him up. As far as interior defensive lineman, I mean, he is a wrecking ball. And honestly, when you look at the strengths, one of the strengths of Philadelphia is going to be that mid run with Hurts or breaking the pocket up, or Saquon just the handoff. And that's where Jones really pushes the pocket back. That's the place, when a quarterback, they say, oh, he stepped into his throw, or he stepped up in the pocket. Well, that's where they find those great throws. And that's hard to do when the D lineman like Jones is pushing your guard or your center right back into your face. So I think that's one of the keys, is that as long as I know they don't have a whole lot of names in the backside of the secondary and stuff, but as long as Chris Jones and that front seven is really, and I mean, the blitzing packages that Spagnuolo calls at like perfect blitz, perfect time, it's insane. And as long as they keep doing that, I mean, it's going to be hard to beat them. And look, they're the first team, I think, that's gone as well as they've gone with having like under 30 points a game. Like, you don't win every game at scoring under 30 without a great defense. And so this is the defensive time, I think, really to shine. I know they won't get the respect that the offense does even after this game, but this is defense wins championships, and it's a championship defense.
Oh, yeah. In Spags, we trust. Spagnuolo is, like, in my opinion, the best defensive coordinator in the league. He has been for this entire dynasty that we have now, man. He's extraordinary. All these blitzes, all these plays that you see us do defensively, it's just extraordinary. I mean, how do you think of that? But not only that, the players he's got, Chris Jones is the best D lineman in the game right now, and we got a very, like Chris said, an underrated defense. So we are very good at the run game, which is why I think this is going to be a good matchup. Really tests how well we can play with the run-heavy offense, both with the quarterback and the great running back. So this is really going to test our linemen and linebackers. I do think when it comes to the pass game, we struggle a little bit because our safeties Cook and Reed, they're very good at stopping the run, but they do blunder and mess up in terms of the pass game. So this is really going to test them through the air if they decide to pass. Like I said, the Eagles don't really pass, so we'll see what they do offensively. But I think it's going to be a nice matchup to watch.
My take on it is like, They all made great points, and without the key players that the Chiefs have on defense and the scheme of Spagnuolo, the Chiefs would at least have 3 or 4 more losses this season because with the offense struggling the way that they did, and Philly on their side of the ball, I feel that not to sound like a hater, but I feel like they have the both offensive lines and defensive lines to control the game, and therefore I do feel that they can get the control. They'll be able to better get that tush push like Buffalo tried to do but was unsuccessful because they have that meat and potatoes type of line that could just get in there and just maul you deep. And then defensively, you got Jalen Carter that just comes up there and gets up in your face. So he's close to a Chris Jones type. So it's like he gets that interior pressure that can force quarterbacks to go out. And when they do that, the rest of that D-line kind of corrals them in. But it could be to a point, this could be a defensive game more than an offensive game. But if it turns into that, I do feel that Philly has a slight edge with the better receivers on the side and the quarterback that'll get it to him with the run game.
Duly noted. But I'm going to slight on this one. Defensively, this is going to be a great matchup because, like I said, we're going back to Spag. Spag is one of the greatest defensive minds ever since, Dick LeBeau.
I think he's better. He's got more rings.
Of course.
He beat Brady twice.
What we've seen in these games is that Spag is able to change up personnel quickly. And right now, what they're going to have their task on hand is they're not, if they're going to stack up the box, Saquon's used to that. They've done that to him already. Now, if they're going to go into the air, especially having A.J. Brown and matching up with Devontae Smith, if he decides to show up, they still have weapons on that end as well. For the defense itself, if Chris Jones and forgive me for not saying his name here, what's that linebacker name?
Karlaftis?
Yes, he's a hidden gem. Like him. He's disruptive
he's an edge rusher,
player. Yep, he's a disruptive player, and it's team players like that scares me, and that's why being in this AFC West is like to be the best. What in the words of your boy Josh Allen, to be the best, you got to beat the best. All right, so let's talk a little about discussions of concerns. So short and sweet. I'm gonna kick it off with you, Chris. What would be something you'd be concerned about for the Chiefs?
Probably the offensive line. If they don't hold up, if they start getting a lot of penalty calls, if they actually call the false starts or holds that happen, I think that's probably their biggest concern. If the offensive line starts to go down, the running game's not happening, Mahomes is getting too much pressure, not able to give the receivers some extra time, I think that's the biggest key to their. I think the defense will be fine. They'll hold it within a winnable area. I think their biggest thing is if the offensive line holds up, which I would suspect it does, but that's the biggest concern I'd have.
Granted that the Chiefs have not allowed, 100-yard, rusher in the Super Bowls or in the playoffs. I think because of what Saquon brings to the Philly offense and their offensive line, I know their job is going to try to contain him and then allow their safeties, and corners, to defend their receivers. But I think that's going to be more, easier said than done because look what Saquon has done all year. I don't think there may have been one game where he was shut down under 100 yards, like totally, but the rest of those games, all it took was 1 or 2 good plays, he was gone to the races. So it's like even against good defenses, he's found a way to get through and bust through for some big gains, and then which therefore opens up the pass game. Or if Jalen, Hurts decides he wants to take off with it, he does get in trouble at times. But I think what the concern for the Chiefs is, if they focus too much on that run game trying to stop him, it's going to start leaving things open for receivers and tight ends.
My biggest concern is our red zone offense. We love marching down the field and then kicking field goals for some reason. Like last, we got that nice kick return, and then we couldn't even score. We had to settle for a field goal. So just offensively, for some reason, it seems like we struggle a lot when we're in the red zone, which is detrimental when you need points and not, you need 7 points and not 3 points, right? Because that'll make or break whether you win or lose. And so just offensively, our red zone offense, we got to make something happen. We can't settle for field goals. We can't. It's not going to work.
Mine, short and sweet, is going to be on the offensive line, making sure that Patrick Mahomes does not get carried away with the ball. Buffalo showed the last game that they can get to him, and it's pretty simple. Jalen Carter's coming, and they said just sack him, disrupt him. If you can do that, that's going to get the team to have to reorganize. So I'm just going to say on the offense, it has to be that they got to stay in unison and getting that ball out. Defensively, they got to make sure they can contain Saquon, because if Saquon decides to do more than 20 touches, they're in trouble. All right, we're going to go ahead and I forgot the keys to victory. So if you are going for the Chiefs, what's going to be the key thing, Chris, they need for them to win Super Bowl 59?
I think have at least 100 yards rushing. That'll prove that their offensive line's holding up, and I think that'll open up the things for the receiving. So,
Just stop Saquon. Do your best to contain Saquon. In my opinion, that's all they got offensively.
They just gotta don't let. If you let him just go off, they're in trouble. The offensive line's got to be able to control the line of scrimmage, and that's their key to victory.
Mine is the masterminds, Nick Sirianni outsmarting Andy Reid and Spag. That's the way I see it. If he can do something out of it, go into the playbooks and find out a way to beat him, it can be done. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
hey guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A here in Wichita, Kansas.
Moving on over to the NFC champs, we have the Eagles fly. The Philadelphia Eagles, they are back in the Super Bowl. This is their 4th appearance. Last time they won a Super Bowl was Super Bowl 52. Okay, they defeated the Green Bay Packers, the Los Angeles Rams, and their NFC East arch rivals, the Washington Commanders. Okay, let's kick it off with the offense. What do you like about the offense, Driz?
Like Don said earlier, great offensive line, probably one of the best offensive lines in the league. And Saquon, that's that. This is my take. Saquon is their entire offense, right? He's carried them throughout the playoffs. He's carried them this entire season. He's having a historical season, and he's their entire offense. And the reason I say that is because I think Jalen Hurts is about averaging 190 passing yards a game. That's not a lot for a quarterback, right? That's not a lot at all.
Not today.
While the Eagles, I don't know Saquon specifically. I'm sure it's all him though. The Eagles are averaging like 170 rushing yards a game, which is kind of crazy in my opinion, because this is a pass-heavy league. You don't see stuff like that no more. So Saquon's their entire offense, right? Take them out the picture, boom, they're done.
I think AJ Brown hopes that the Chiefs believe that. Because he was hitting them hard in the Commanders, man. And Devontae Smith the week before against the Rams, I believe that he was that week. It was a couple weeks ago that Devontae Smith went off as well. Jalen Hurts is getting better. He was injured there at the end of the year. You can see it actually, like each playoff game, he threw the ball more. It was better. He got more yards. There was more connections. Putting it in perfect positions on deep throws as well. But I mean, the Eagles this year is Saquon Barkley. What I'm really excited to see is what happens when he bounces outside. Because if he throws some of them stiff arms that he's done on some of those secondary, man, it's going to be a 60-yard run over and over. And when he breaks loose, like he's running like a man possessed. Even him prior to this year, we didn't see this kind of explosion on a week-to-week basis. You would get a glimpse here and there, but he is running like probably it's going to be his career year, whatever happens this year, I have a feeling. But great line, but also when he gets outside, and he's used to this box being stacked from all his years with New York, and even now, like they're still stacking the box. So, yeah, I think offensively – they just stick to their game, run it as much as they can, and let Jalen do a little bit. And he's probably going to have a little bit more than he's had in the last few games. I think they're going to lean on him a little bit more in that passing game, and I think that might just catch the Chiefs off guard a little.
Yeah, best thing for Philly right now is if the Chiefs, if they decide they want to run a lot of man, A.J. Brown is a master, beating that man, defense. So it's like if they run that, they're in trouble because – if he beats you deep, or if you try to defend him on man, then Saquon's running right behind him. Or if they try to contain him, you still got the threat of Jalen Hurts. So you got a two-headed monster right there running. And then, of course, in the pass game, if they too worried about A.J. Brown, it's going to open it up for
Saquon's running.
It's going to open up for Devontae Smith. And if you somehow get both of them covered, don't forget, you still got Goddard. So it's like, and even his backup, Calcaterra, if they decide to want a 12-man offense, they got the weapons too, just like the Chiefs. So it's like if you're trying to contain everybody and they allowed to get spread thin, that's where Philly's gonna have a lot of success.
Offensively, Jalen has to make sure he secures the ball. Last Super Bowl, he was getting a little carried away. Let the clock be your friend. Keep making progress. Move the chains. Use all your weapons. switch him and out Saquon and the other the other running back as well. Kind of get that ball rolling. That's the way I see them offensively, being able to put some points on the board. Let's shift on over to the defensive side. Drizzy, what do you like about their defense?
I like everything, man. I think they got probably the best defense in the league, one of the best defenses. Actually, in terms of points per game, they're the second best offense or defense, and Chiefs are the fourth. So you got two really great defenses this year going head to head. So. Defensively, they got the linemen, they got the DBs, they got everybody. To me, they're built well all around. So I mean, I really don't see any weaknesses.
Yeah, they've got a solid defense. Same thing, not a lot of weaknesses. Strong lines, pretty strong secondary. So be curious to see what Reed's game plan is going against such a strong defense.
I feel with their defensive speed, they can match some of that quickness that the Chiefs like to run offensively in the backfield, and you get those quick hitters. So. They can match it, so it's going to be a scheme game, who can scheme better. We're
going to need Slay. Slay in the corner is going to have to pick who he's going to shut down. And also, Jalen Carter, if he can get to Patrick Mahomes, it's going to be fun. So that's one of the things that we need to be on the lookout for. Okay, you guys, let's take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Well, I don't know about you folks, but here at Sportsfellas, things can get, a nice right funk going on sometimes. And in that time of need, we turn to our friend Kimberly Sampson, our own personal Cincy independent consultant. She is our favorite star consultant, so for your scent needs, get a hold of Kimberly at heavenlyscentswithkim@gmail.com or visit her website, heavenlyscentswithkim.cincy.us. You can also call her at 316-282-7363. That's Kimberly Sampson at Cincy, our favorite independent consultant.
The moment is here. Who will be crowned the Super Bowl champions? Will it be three-peat Super Bowl champs back to back Kansas City Chiefs, or it's going to be the second Lombardi Trophy going to the city of brotherly love? Of course, we're going to kick it off with Chiefs Kingdom representative here in Wichita, Driz.
Yes, sir.
Who are you taking and why?
I'm taking Chiefs Kingdom. You can't doubt the Chiefs. Mahomes is, I think I saw a stat. He's like 7-0 when trailing in the fourth quarter in the playoffs or something like that. Like he's basically undefeated if he's trailing in the fourth quarter because you can never count him out in any game. So no matter what the score is. So that in particular. But listen, like I said before, their Eagles' entire offense is Saquon. I think of course he's going to get his yardage, maybe 100-plus yards, but I don't think that's going to be enough because once they realize that ain't going to win them the game, they're going to start going in their uncomfortable zone, passing a lot more, and I think they're just going to make mistakes offensively, and our defense is going to capitalize on that. To me, this is a defensive battle, and the winner's going to be who has less turnovers, right? Whose defense can get more turnovers for you guys. And I think it's just going to be defensive heavy, and which offense is going to be able to get a score.
I think this is going to be a close game. It's going to be a one-score game, and in a one-score game with the Chiefs, I'm going to take the Chiefs every time. It's that simple.
I feel I'm going against the grain because I know everybody likes the Chiefs to win, but
I thought you were going to say likes the Chiefs. I was like,
I
don't want to go there.
But I feel Philly's going to win this one because both offensive line and defensive lines are going to control the line of scrimmage, and Jalen Hurts is going to do. He can match pretty much what Mahomes can do, and they both got dynamic receivers. But it is going to be a defensive game. But I do feel that Philly's going to limit Mahomes' possessions, and that's going to be the key for Philly to win.
I learned my lesson. You can't fight. What the guy King Willie said in Predator 2. You can't stop. We can't be stopped. And so here's the thing. At the end of the day, Kansas City has built for this. They are just an oil rig machine. They are just a menace. And here's the thing. I'm tired of going against them because I end up losing. So I already have to rep them for already a year already. So the stakes have got any higher. And so the way it's going to be is that if the Chiefs win, I'm going to have to wear a jersey for a year. So I'm going to have to go to my rally house, or I'm going to have to go Pro Image Sports and go get me a jersey.
Better be sitting there, saying prayers for Philly then.
Oh, yeah. So my heart goes out to Philly, but my money tells me I'm going for Kansas City. There's just no way around it. Andy Reid, what a bittersweet to go ahead and take out the team that he coached formerly. This is going to be a great Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to it. Let it be a tough will fight, but at the end of the day, it's just how can you count against Patrick Mahomes? He's already proven he's a GOAT, and we're watching it. We're watching it in front of our own very eyes, and this is great for the young generation like Driston and them, but this is coming back from a guy that used to go to Arrowhead games when they were terrible. I mean, I was there laughing at them. I was like, these guys will never go anywhere. And you know what? Bittersweet Symphony. It's amazing to see how that organization was able to start from the top, get a great coach. I mean, after leaving Todd Haley, leaving Herm Edwards, and those guys, to finally have a coach to turn them around, you got to hand it to them. They're a classy organization. I'm going to go for the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, you guys. Well, that wraps that up. Any shout-outs before we go?
Shout out to you guys. Always fun coming out here talking football. Shout out to my Chiefs for making history.
Hey, I just got to give a shout-out to all the listeners out there listening. And, hey, I'm still repping my Raider Nation. And, I can't always cheer for the Chiefs. So that's just my take.
Yeah, the irony of all this is that we're all in the AFC West here.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that the Chiefs have been putting us on the map. Keep it going. Let's start off with the Chiefs Kingdom family, starting from our friend Marty, Valerie, Brian, Dylan. You guys, I know you guys are big Chief fans. And of course, Driz keeping everybody in line. At the end of the day, hey, let it be a great Super Bowl. If you guys win, more power to you. And also, what a great season, you guys. This is it. After that, we're going to go on a sabbatical. But don't forget, we're going to do Vice. We're going to keep continuing doing Silver Cosmo movie reviews, and we will come back for Sportsfellas when we do the NCAA tournament, the NBA playoffs going into the finals, and a little bit of baseball and a little bit of hockey. Until then, you guys, thank you so much. So for all the people that do not watch those sports, we'll see you soon. Until then, we're out.